What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Like I told you, it's gonna be a busy couple days of trailer reviews. We still have several more to go, but this one's a bit different. This is gonna be for a TV series. Most of the ones we've been doing lately and after this one will be primarily for upcoming films. But again, this one's for a TV series. Don't see too many of these pop up. I don't think we necessarily have enough horror TV series. Now, I'm not saying we don't have any. I'm not saying they're far and few between. We've definitely gotten a lot more over the past several years. We still have a couple. I mean, we have the Carrie TV series, the Camp Crystal Lake TV series. Of course, those are based off of iconic franchises, but we don't necessarily have a whole lot of horror TV series that are on a consistency of constantly coming around the corner. Again, they're usually far and few between, but we do have one, and this one's called The Trouble with Tessa, and this is the trailer. Screambox original mystery begins on July 15th. So let's jump into the article details as we always do, and then we're going to take a look at this. This is calling it a trailer, but when I pulled up the trailer to get a timestamp on it, it's only about a minute long. So, and we've talked about this before, how are trailers and teasers defined. Again, I feel most trailers are anywhere starting at a minute 45. Teasers are anywhere between 30 to about a minute 15. And then we have that little gap in there that it could go either way. This one was only about a minute long, so it's not that long of a trailer. I haven't watched it, and again, I don't ever watch these trailers going into these reviews. I usually just go into them blindly, and the only thing I do grab a hold of is just a timestamp, just to get an idea of how long it's going to be. So let's jump into this article and let's see what information we can get from this, and then we're going to go over to the trailer. So, what is The Trouble with Tessa? We invite you to find out when the Screambox original series premieres on July 15th. While you wait, begin the mystery with the trailer below. So this is going to, so we have less than a month, so about 3.5 weeks before the series drops. The first two episodes will premiere on Tuesday, July 15th with The Trouble with Tessa, featuring 6 episodes in total. 2 new episodes will premiere on a weekly basis. So this is, wow, that's odd. So this is only going to last 3 weeks. If they are going to do 2 episode drops, if they're going to do that's 3 weeks. That's pretty short. I'm wondering why they're going about that route, and I'm wondering why so few episodes. Usually in a series like this, it's anywhere between minimum 8, no more than 10 or 12. But this one, they're saying, 6 is all we apparently need to tell this story, and we're only going to we'll give it to you in 3 weeks. I would have thought maybe if they do like a 2-week or 2 episode drop first week, and then 4 weeks for the next 4 episodes, 1 per week, but apparently that's not how they're doing it. I mean, unlike Amazon, sometimes Amazon will drop their entire season on one day. We saw how that worked out for The Bondsman. They had a killer first week, and then the second week was abysmal, and then by the 3rd week they had canceled the entire TV series. I guess feast or famine, right? So, all right, so let's move on. The Trouble with Tessa centers on disgraced documentarian Tessa Fowler, who unearths a box of old tapes and sets out to unravel the dark secrets buried in this perfect town's past. In the original horror series, after Tessa Fowler's skyrocketing career implodes overnight, the disgraced documentarian escapes to a small, idyllic mountain town called Lowry. It seems like the perfect place to hide. Lowry doesn't allow cell phones, doesn't have internet, and no one knows about Tessa's past. I don't know. That sounds like a great place. No cell phones, no internet. It's just like, you got to go out and touch grass at that point, right? Tessa's determination to leave their investigation days behind them disappears, however, when they find a mysterious box of recordings in their rental home's dingy basement. At first, recordings seem to be nothing more than security footage. So I'm wondering if we're going to get into found footage format, maybe. So we'll have to see. Maybe the trailer will tell us. We had a quote there. However, when Tessa plays a tape that appears to catch a murder in progress, they can't help but start digging into this seemingly perfect town's disturbing past. Okay. All right, so let's keep moving. We have all the casting information here: director, writer, cinematographer. So that's a lot of names. We're not reading all those. We have the trailer, and we do have a movie poster, or a series poster in this case. I like this. Get rid of that top part. You'll get fed. Not sure what that means, but maybe the trailer will let us know. Otherwise, I like this. It's clean. Yeah, the title, I mean, Screambox original, I'd get rid of that as well, but I get why that needs to be there. But other than that, I like it. I like it. It's a very clean looking poster, not a lot of busy noise, not a lot of text on it. So yeah, so that was a very short article. So let's get back to the top of it. And then now we're going to pull up, again, they're calling it a trailer. Based on the time it is, I would call it a teaser. But let's see what this one's going to be about.
It's crazy up here. There's no Wi-Fi. There's just landlines and a curfew. And apparently there's a list of rules that I'm supposed to read.
Bowery is a nice place. A nice quiet town where you don't even have to lock your door.
I'm done chasing this kind of thing.
I found tapes in the house, audio, video of a woman.
What are you hiding?
My mom used to tell me there was a monster in the woods.
Welcome to Lowry.
So yeah, that was pretty short. Actually, it's timestamped for about 58 seconds, so I was a little off on the time, but it only ran for about 50 by the time you put in the last bit of black screen. That one was even for 53 seconds. That one was, I mean, the trailer started off pretty crazy. I mean, we see somebody, don't know who, on the ground, presumably dead. There's blood everywhere, and then we see what I assume is the main character. Like a monster with like a hand coming up behind them onto their shoulder, and then we see them in the woods on the ground screaming, and then we get into like what I'd imagine where the show would begin, right? We see them going to this town, this house that they're going to be staying in, and we hear that the talk over. This is a place you don't have to lock your door. I have lived in small enough towns where that is very much. I mean, they had internet and cell phones, but that was very much the mentality. You never had to lock your doors. And if you know what a screen door, what a screen door is, you have like a screen door to let, like, you can, if you have your front door open to let air in. A lot of people would leave their front doors literally open, have their screen door closed, and they would sometimes lock that, sometimes they wouldn't. And they would just leave that open all night long. And it was never a big deal, no issues. I mean, obviously times have changed. But yeah, I thought that was interesting that they said that. And the other thing I thought was interesting is the air horns. So again, I've lived in small towns where those are still very much functional, especially if you live in the Midwest South, you deal with like tornadoes and stuff. A lot of small towns still use those if and they are announcing or alerting for a tornado warning. They do still have those and use them. So that was pretty interesting. I will say though, the creepiest thing in this entire trailer, two scenes. When she finds the videotapes and the little cassette tapes, we see what I'd imagine is the woman. We saw her on the tape, but then I'd imagine we saw her again, what would appear to be present time for her, and she looked very like almost like you would depict a character like in a religious horror film when they've been possessed during an exorcism. They get really thin looking, really almost dead looking. And she's sitting in the chair, and she appeared to be pregnant. She looked like that, so she looked pretty creepy. But the creepiest bit in this was the old lady that was just smiling ear to ear and said, "Welcome to Fowler." I think she's definitely part of it. Who knows? She's probably the killer. There's just something about that old granny that doesn't sit well with me. No one's that happy. I'm sorry. And she just looked absolutely creepy. Perfectly casted, because she gives off that vibe as to I would not want to stay in that town, or I would be closing my door and locking it, because you don't want that. You don't want her coming in. So looks real. Again, it was only 53 seconds long. Wasn't that long of a trailer, so it leaves a lot to be guessing. Not only are they trying to figure out what happened to this individual that's on these tapes and recordings, now they're dealing with some sort of evil entity or creature that might have killed her or is doing something within the town. Again, I think it's the old lady. I think she's a shapeshifter. I'm calling it now. I think she's a shapeshifter, or she is directly involved or controlling whatever this monster is or creature. So anyways, drop a comment in the comment section. That's the teaser or trailer for the Trouble with Tessa, coming to Screambox on July 15th. The first 2 episodes on July 15th. And then the next 4 episodes will drop in pairs for the following 2 weeks after that. Again, exclusively on Screambox. So again, drop a comment in the comment section. And if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you at the next one. Later.